Hey, good morning on a Monday. Meteorologist Rod Hill coming to you from Vancouver, Washington this morning. I've been absent for a while. My daughter graduated from high school last Friday. Lots of family in town, and I totally allowed myself to check out and enjoy the moment of my daughter's high school graduation. It was fabulous. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced already what I got to experience, and you know what I'm talking about. Well, we did do it. The forecast, I really haven't talked to you about since Wednesday or so of last week. The high temperature out at PDX yesterday was a record of 96. The old record was 94. That was a record, I believe. I'm checking. Yeah, that went back into the 1950s. Now, the record on this Monday is 95 degrees, and the weather models say we'll either be close or not quite make it, and then we start to cool off. Of course, yesterday's high of 96, the first, number one, 90-degree day of the summer or heat season, I should say, out at PDX. So on the left, here is what the temperature forecast is once again today. Some 100s expected out in the Columbia Basin. This is Pendleton and areas northward. You're seeing it right there in that kind of brighter white brick color, I like to say. Still saying at least low 90s, maybe some mid 90s up and down much of the I-5 corridor from the Willamette Valley up into Clark County and 80s up in Seattle. The coast, I'll show you temperatures in a moment. We did not have an east surface wind, so the coast was warm but considerably cooler than what we've had here in the valley. On the right side, this is the 850 millibar 5,000 foot air mass map, and you can see right here in purple and green, big batch of cooler air later this week going into this upcoming weekend, and we'll take a look at that as well. Okay, all of this brought to you as always by the Momentous Wealth Podcast. Listen to these investment educational topics, if you will, on Apple Podcast and on Spotify from Momentous Wealth Management, licensed for your financial needs and planning in Oregon and in Washington. Firm that I use, highly recommend, or I wouldn't have them sponsor my podcast. Okay, quick look, the old tabular form. This is the temperature report from yesterday, Sunday, from the National Weather Service. This is the what they call the every 12 hours across the state, they put this out. So, what went to the record books at PDX yesterday? A record high of 96 degrees. Pardon me. The National Weather Service, which is close to the airport, their office, actually hit 97. That was one of the warmer spots here on the west side. Astoria hit 77, plenty warm. Hillsboro 96, Aurora 95, McMinnville 94, Salem 95, Corvallis 95, Eugene 94, Roseburg 100. Medford, good morning to you. 102. Klamath Falls 93, Lakeview 90. So lots of heat across the area. Bend was 93, Hermiston 98, the Dalles 100 degrees. Again, lots of heat across the state. Baker City was 87, and it was 96 out in Ontario. Okay, that was yesterday. So here on the west side, still a hot afternoon, but not expected to be as warm as we were 24 hours ago, but still, as we saw a moment ago, up into the 90s. Let's look at the flow pattern. This is the European model. The 500 millibar contours, 18,000 feet. So right here, this was early this morning, more like overnight. 588 millibar enclosed low right over California and Oregon. You can see the ridging right here. I don't show you this that often. All these colors are what they call positive vorticity, which is on a horizontal plane, kind of spinning energy in the atmosphere. When we say upper level disturbances, that's what we're talking about. But right here, the big high over southern Oregon. Here's the ridging. This is this morning. Now you're going to see the ridging weaken. So now here's that 588, but notice the enclosed high is weakened over our area. There's a 594 high off south of the coast of California, but you see the ridge, the contour lines have kind of flattened out. I think you can see that. So still a hot afternoon, but we start to take the edge off of the heat, and then that cooling continues somewhat the next couple of days. We will be warm though. Now here's Wednesday morning. See the bright colors and a little dip in the contour. Here's an upper level disturbance moving over California. This is going to shoot up without doubt scattered thunderstorms, Northern California, Northern Nevada, push some of that up into southern and eastern Oregon. It looks like we will be dry. So we're 79. Yeah, okay. We're 576 millibar. Remember, as a forecaster, one of the old forecast rules is when you look at millibar heights in the atmosphere, there's a 576. Doesn't always work out, but often or usually 576 kind of wet dry line. And if you're south of 576, typically the rain is going to be, well, by theory, to your north. So we're at 576. Now there's a difference when you've got convective activity. So we're at 576. I would say if this was a cold front coming in, we would probably either just get a little bit on the southern end of it or stay dry. But now with the convection to our south, higher heights, but more unstable, you get some thunderstorms. I realized what I just said was confusing as heck. That was not my intent. All right. But here's Wednesday. So Wednesday, this is the first time we'll kind of look to see what the low clouds are doing. Is there a chance of some trace of moisture? We'll watch the thunderstorms down in California and parts of South and Eastern Oregon. And then we'll keep playing this as the flow pattern becomes increasingly active. Here's Thursday morning. Here's Thursday afternoon. Now, this is a pretty good trough. That's an absolute cold front coming in. Interesting, the models aren't really generally picking up on precip for us. And again, this is just one weather model. But if you look at the European 567, you'd be like, hey, there's at least a chance of some shower activity measurable coming in with a cold front and absolutely a significant cool down to follow. Now, watch the low up in here spinning to our north. Just kind of hangs out in the Pacific to our north and off to our west into the weekend. But here's Saturday. Certainly a cooler westerly active flow coming in, a secondary front kind of coming in. So again, you're looking for some cloudiness and a chance of maybe some moisture. The weather model's not really, I think they're not really picking up on much in the way of measurable precipitation out of any of this. Um, but if this flow pattern holds true, certainly some cloudiness coming and certainly at least a chance of some measurable precip in the days ahead, with the best chance here in Northwest Oregon kicking in. This is with that front that comes in on Thursday, right? There it is. There's that front that comes in on Thursday. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, here is what the same model, pardon me, European model is showing in terms of precip. Here is that scattered shower thunderstorm activity as early as this evening into southern Oregon. It doesn't really build it much in the way of north. Well, here it does. Now we're Tuesday afternoon. Now we got chances, pardon me, of scattered showers and maybe some thunder and lightning out across eastern Oregon. That's Tuesday afternoon. This kind of takes off. This is Wednesday. This is still not showing anything. Now remember Thursday there was that front. This doesn't show anything. This is the same model we just looked at, which to me is like not really. It doesn't make sense to me. Here's going into the weekend. We got that big low sitting offshore, spinning up some secondary fronts. Now it's a Saturday morning. It's showing some light moisture, obviously some cloud cover up in western Washington, the North Oregon coast. So there's a chance of a dab will do you up around Kelso, Longview, but generally not much for most of us, certainly south of the Columbia River in terms of measurable precip. And I think this model only goes out to, yeah, this is Saturday evening. So that's what we have. But certainly that's a cool down. No doubt about that. Now, I thought this would be fun. This is the same model, but this is the AI model, artificial intelligence kind of rolled in to the programming. This is showing the same chance of some moisture down in southern Oregon later today. Builds it up in eastern Oregon. This is coming into Thursday morning. Shows, I mean, if it's showing some traceable amounts of moisture around the mouth of Columbia, you know you have some clouds. This is Thursday. So that's certainly cloudy, chance of maybe some drizzle or something. And then this even going into Saturday, here's Saturday afternoon. So this is the old scattered stuff. This is what's new, but it basically holds the decent rain almost north of Seattle, it looks like, right? Shows some light, misty drizzle weather along the Oregon coast going into this coming Saturday. And now this likes a wave. Again, this is a cumulative, but here's a new wave. Now we're getting way out. This is Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday, June 18th. This is showing now a bona fide cold front coming in with some measurable rainfall. It could be about a tenth of an inch. And that's a week from this Thursday, June 19th. So we'll see. The point is, once we start to cool down in the next couple of days, it looks like we have a stretch of a good week plus of temperatures more normal for this time of year. Here's what the wind is doing. This is looking at European model today. I like it. Here's today, Monday afternoon. Northwest flow pattern, again, not an east wind. So while the valley warms up into the 90s, much of the coast will hold in the 70s. Shows some decent west winds out in the Columbia River Gorge, some gusts 10, 20 miles per hour, not much in the valley. I'll just play this into Tuesday. Here's tomorrow, not much wind in the morning, and then the afternoon, there's westerlies in the gorge picking up 10 to 20 miles per hour. There's some westerlies, 10 to maybe some gusts to 20 along the coast, not much wind into the valley. Okay. And the overall flow pattern is westerly as we continue to see this cool off. Here is the coast. This is the camera from Europe by the Sea Resort this morning showing low clouds over Tillamook, which is right there. And of course, Seaside is right there as well. This is, again, the view up in Gearhart. You can see some blue out to sea. You can see Newport is actually 55 and misty this morning. That's the camera from ODOT on Yaquina Bay. So if you go down, the forecast already doesn't seem to be the greatest. It's showing sunny skies today along the north coast. This is from the National Weather Service and NOAA. Don't mean to laugh, sorry. It's hard. Uh, so they would say that the morning cloudiness is going to go away, and you're going to have at least afternoon sun to warm up to 68. You're going to start off cloudy Tuesday, and you're going to basically see highs closer to 60 degrees all the way into Thursday, Friday. Not much in the way of measurable precip, but days with a mix of clouds and some sun and highs about 60 degrees. Okay, so that's the coast. Let's go around the horn. We know Medford's going to be hot today. Let's see what it says. 102. Yeah. There's that chance of thunderstorms actually developing tonight or this evening and then going through the day tomorrow that we looked at in southern Oregon. And then, other than that, going all dry and cooling off with some days right about 80, 82 Thursday into Sunday. So that's southern Oregon. What's North Bend doing? Generally dry, generally highs around 60 degrees along the coast throughout the period. Okay, Pendleton's going to be hot, right? 101 today. Yeah. 97 tomorrow. There's the gradual cool off, significant by Wednesday, 90, and then more cooling, 85 Thursday, 81 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Most of that southern to eastern thunderstorm threat that starts later tonight goes into Wednesday, stays south of the Great Basin and works more up into maybe as far north as Baker County. So we'll keep an eye on that thunderstorm threat. Up in Seattle, this is, yeah, shows all dry. But remember, we've got those pushes of cooler air, especially on Thursday. So keep an eye on Thursday. That could be cloudy day and that could be some light rain. But look at the cool down. 86 today, 81 Tuesday, mid 70s Wednesday, 71 Thursday. And then staying comfortable. So maybe the biggest headline here is once we cool off, let's say by midweek, we really stay pretty comfortable well into next week. So that'll make a lot of people happy, right? Okay. Let's check out Bend. What are they doing? All sunny. 97 today. Wow. And there's that cool down. 93 Tuesday, 85 Wednesday, 79 on Thursday. Okay. All right. Capital City of Oregon, here we go. 94, 86, 79, 75. And again, keeping an eye on these trends of at least a chance of some moisture with low cloudiness, especially starting Thursday. So we'll see. Okay, let's go ahead and show you. Again, this is not my work yet. I've still got my weather site, portlandweather.com, uh, loaded to auto update with the National Weather Service NOAA forecast feeds as I'm still enjoying family in town, but I was itching to do some weather this morning, so here I am. 95 today. Again, what's the record today? The record today is 95 back in 1955, so that would tie the record if we make it. And then 87, 80 on Wednesday. And then look at the run of 70s, expected to last well into next week. A lot of comfortable weather. And again, if you absolutely cannot have any moisture, remember Thursday forward, I think there's at least the ongoing threat of some light moisture and some cloudiness. We'll continue to follow that. Okay. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. Hope you're doing well. Hope the heat, I know some people love it, some people can't stand it. That's the way with most weather. Subscribe if you haven't. You'll be notified when I post. It helps me out, and I'll talk to you soon.